Good day. My name is Jabbar Abdullah. I'm currently a SBA portfolio manager for Truist Bank, and I'm here to share with you some information in regard to the PPP loans and basically how it works. So, if you allow me to just go over some notes, I'll be happy to give you some information pretty much on a high level, and hopefully that will be able to provide you with some direction and guidance. So, in essence, what is a PPP loan? Well, the PPP loan is the Paycheck Protection Program that was part of the CARES Act that was developed by the SBA. It's an SBA loan that helps with businesses to keep their workforce employed during the coronavirus or COVID-19 crisis. So basically, what the SBA is doing is they will forgive loans if all employees are kept on the payroll for an 8-week period and the money is used for payroll, rent, mortgage interest, or utilities. Now, you can apply through any SBA 7A lender. They have to be an approved lender. There's various lenders out there, such as my bank, Truist Bank. You have Wells Fargo, you have Chase, JP Morgan, US Bank. Most of the large banks are all considered 7A lenders. And they have, or actually, they also have some federally insured credit unions and a farm credit system institution that is participating. Other regulated lenders will be available to make these loans as well. And once they are approved and enrolled in a program, basically you would want to consult with your lender as to whether they're participating in those programs. Now, there are certain rules that apply in regard to calculating. So typically, with the PPP loans, they really go by what your average payroll has been for on average of the last 3 months. Some I have seen as far as applications come in, they did it for the last 12 months or a year, or basically the last quarter. And what they do is they take that average monthly cost and multiply it by 2.5% or 2.5 times. And that's pretty much going to be the loan amount that you obtain. Now, I've seen loans as high as 1.7 million, and I've seen some loans that come in as low as $3,000. So that goes to show, when it comes to small businesses, they can range. There's churches that I've seen apply. There's actual attorney law firms and so forth. But this is a program that is designed to help all businesses, basically. Now, the thing is, they do have rules as to far as who can apply, and I want to just highlight those. Is any businesses concerned that meets the SBA size standard, because there have to be a size standard. You can't be too large of a business. Any business, 501c3 nonprofit organization, a 501c19 veterans organization, or tribal business concern, Section 31B2C of the Small Business Act, with the greater of 500 employees, or they meet the SBA industry size standard of more than 500. Any business with a NIAC code that begins with 72, which is accommodations and food services, which in essence is restaurants and food service companies that provide some type of eatery, that has more than one physical location and employs less than 500 per location. So you're looking at, a lot of these mom and pop eateries. You're looking at bars and grills, that are sports bars, things like that. I'm sorry. And that includes sole proprietors, independent contractors, and self-employed persons as well. So the thing is, which is another important piece, is the loan will be fully forgiven if the loans that are provided are indeed used for payroll costs, interest on mortgages, rent, and utilities due to likely high subscription. At least 60% of the forgiven amount must have been used for payroll. So, in essence, the majority, as I indicated, for the most part, that's what the loan is going to be for. Now, bear in mind that initially when this rolled out, they were requiring businesses that if they were not going to be able to meet that 60% threshold, that they were to pay it back. And that was back in early May. However, that was the first round of loans that people applied for. But now there have been a second round of loans as of toward the end part of May, and they had extension until June, in which they needed to advise the SBA whether or not they would be able to meet that threshold. Excuse me. Now, if that threshold is not met, they are to inform the SBA within a reasonable time frame, and they would then they would have to actually repay the loan. It would be for a year. They would not have to make any payments. However, thereafter, I do apologize. Okay, I stand corrected. They would need to have informed the SBA, and after they have done so, they would have 6 months of interest-free, interest-only payments, and then thereafter, principal and interest would be due for 18 months. So in all, they would have basically 24 months of payments, 6 of them being interest-only. And the cool thing is at 1% interest. And that's across the board for any business that would not be able to meet the threshold. If they were able to meet the threshold, that the loans are fully forgiven. And basically that would have been considered a grant that business would have received in regard to the PPP loans. So the thing is that these are some good points to know. Options for borrowers to calculate their payroll costs using an alternative payroll covered period aligns with the borrower's regular payroll cycles. They also had flexibility to include eligible payroll and non-payroll expenses paid or incurred during a 24-week period after receiving that PPP loan. There's step-by-step instructions on how to perform the calculations required by the CARES Act to confirm eligibility for loan forgiveness. So you would know after obtaining the loan what, in essence, would qualify for forgiveness. And in addition, there was a new exemption for the loan forgiveness reduction for borrowers who have made good faith written offer to rehire workers that were declined. So if there were any workers that had been furloughed for some reason or laid off, and by obtaining this PPP loan, they were able to be brought back for employment, then that would actually also assist in being able to have the loan forgiven. Okay, so again, right now, as far as the update of how the PPP loan and the Paycheck Protection Program, it had resumed back in April 27th, because at one time the money didn't run out. Then it was actually a second round. From my understanding at this point, that the money still has not run out. they just have been very selective as to who they're going to extend a loan to, because initially it was a lot of larger businesses that took advantage of obtaining those loans. And this time around, it was not a first time in, first time out, or first time apply, first time receiving. Now they are catering more to the smaller businesses. So my suggestion would ultimately be to contact, if you have a relationship manager or a small business consultant at your lending institution, to contact them and find out where on their website that you can apply, and get the additional information needed and get a lot of application in, and good luck in terms of obtaining it, because again, the COVID-19 is still out here, and the PPP loan is still available. Thank you very much for your time, and have a great evening.